And let's start on page 13 in grammar. Is there anybody, I know Camila's waiting for your books. Anybody else waiting for their books? William? Okay. Well, did you get a chance to print today's work for class? Okay. And Camila, you got what you need for today? No? Uh-oh. I know I was texting your mom earlier. Okay, yeah. Go check. And you guys know, especially the moms that are listening in, the secretarial part of my job is not my forte. So I'm working on it. I'm working on that stuff. But sometimes I send out the wrong stuff and I just want to teach. That's all I want to do. I just want to teach. I got that part down. I was talking to my husband earlier, actually, and I was like, man, if we get big enough, maybe we could hire somebody to do all the emails and photocopies and scanning and budgeting and all the spreadsheets and phone calls and wouldn't that be cool? But it's me, myself, and I. So there you go. All right. Well, she's still getting whatever she needs to get. Hopefully, she's printing the pages. We're going to start on page 13. And we're starting with adjectives today. Adjectives are the words that describe nouns and pronouns. It looks like you got it. Camila, are you good? You don't have this page.
I just need the grammar pages.
Okay, so your pages are going to be like 15 through 19. So you're not going to have this one. You'll just watch the screen for this, and then when we get to the practice page, it will be on 15. So hopefully you have those pages. Let me know if your mom needs me to send them again, because who knows? And that's the other thing. Sometimes I send out emails at 5 o'clock in the morning. That's probably my problem. I haven't finished my first cup of coffee yet at 5. So. All right. The adjective tells which one, what kind, how many, or whose. Okay. Here's what you need to memorize. Which one, what kind, how many, whose. That's the job of the adjective. So we have this sentence here, Robin crossed the slippery bridge. This one's pretty easy to spot because you look for that noun, it's bridge. What kind of noun is, or what kind of bridge is it? It's a slippery bridge. So slippery is going to be the adjective. Here we have the bridge appeared slippery. This one is a linking verb. It's linking the noun bridge to the adjective slippery, but it's still telling what kind of bridge it is. It's a slippery bridge, even though it's after the word. Okay, it doesn't matter where it is in the sentence. And then Robin carried his bow. You probably remember this from last year. His is a pronoun, but sometimes it functions as an adjective like it does here because the word bow is a thing, the bow and arrow, and it's telling whose. Remember, you're asking these questions. They're over here on the margin too. Which one, what kind, how many, and whose. So because it's telling whose bow it is, that's going to function as an adjective. It's a pronoun, but it's functioning as an adjective. Okay. So we're going to mark all of those with ADJ like you guys did last year. Down here, Robin strolled through the quiet woods with his bow. Robin's skills in archery was famous. Robin's skill. So here we've got the adjective quiet telling about the woods, his telling whose bow it is. Robin's, remember with that apostrophe S, that's a clue. It's telling possession. The skill belongs to Robin, so that's functioning as an adjective because it's telling whose skill. And then famous, that's way over here. That is also telling about the skill. So we've got some linking verbs. A linking verb here was connecting it to the skill was famous. All right. And then we've got capitalization for proper nouns. You guys already know that. The English flag flew at King Richard's castle. We know King Richard's is a name, and English is referring to England, the country. So that's a proper noun. So we use a capital there. It's telling what kind of flag it is, English flag. And then a quality adjective that is coming soon. to a theater near you. No, just kidding. It's coming soon to your checklist near you. Not yet, but that's an adjective that will give the reader a visual or an image of what you're trying to explain in your writing. Okay, that's that. Page 14. You don't have this one either if you're looking on printed stuff from my email, but that's okay. The who which clause is coming this week. You know about that one. And here's an example of a sentence, a very short sentence. Robin eyed the target. But remember the rule about the who which clause, you can't just put in who or which to a sentence because then it would sound like this. Robin who eyed the target. And it says fragment. That just means it's not a complete sentence. So you can't just plug in who or which. You have to do more to the sentence, remember? Because I told you last year and the year before that the who or which steals the verb from the sentence. So we need another verb after it, okay? So here is a better complete sentence. Robin, who eyed the target, picked up his bow. See how he did something else after the who clause? That's what you need. So the who has the verb eyed in it. You got the subject verb pair. But then you also need the verb at the end here, and it's picked. Actually, picked up is kind of a phrasal verb together. All right, we're going to mark them like we did last time with parentheses. Here's your example. Robin thought about the contest, which he hoped to win. So since this has a verb here in the beginning outside of the who which clause, this works because there's also a verb inside the who which clause. So the sentence with a who which clause has to have a verb on the outside of it and the inside of it in order for it to make sense, which he hoped to win. And then here it is in the middle. The men who worked for the king could not be trusted. So there are a couple of commas rules. This is might be new for you in this class because this is kind of next level punctuation and grammar. Yay, you guys are leveling up with commas. All right. So in a who which clause, there's two different types. There's essential and non-essential. So when I think of the word essential, I think of it being like super important. Like when you're talking about our bodies, like our brains, for example, essential, right? We can't live without our brains. A pinky finger might be an example of a non-essential part of our body because we could live without our pinky. I might be sad. I might miss my pinky, and it might be hard to pick up stuff without my pinky, but I could survive, right? So that's the difference between essential and non-essential. So in a sentence, essential just means it has to be there in order for you to understand what the sentence is about. Non-essential means like it's just kind of extra information. You don't really need it. Okay. So looking back up at these two examples here, Robin thought about the contest which he hoped to win. Since we have which he hoped to win, that's considered non-essential. We still understand the sentence without it. Like if I were to cover it up, Robin thought about the contest. Okay, he's thinking about the contest. We get it. And he hoped to win. Yeah, well, that's kind of a duh, he hoped to win. We don't really need it to understand this part. But here we have, oh, by the way, there's a comma. That's when you use a comma when it's non-essential. Okay, so that's why there's a comma there. But this one has no comma because the men who worked for the king could not be trusted. If I took that out, it would say the men could not be trusted. And then if you read it like that, you might think, wait a minute, all men? Who are we talking about? Which men are we talking about? Which men cannot be trusted? All men? No, that's not what it's saying. But we have this part that says who worked for the king. That's essential to understand the whole sentence. It's those men, the men who worked for the king could not be trusted. So because it's essential, it's like our brain, we have to have it. There's no commas here. Okay, that's the new comma rule. It's probably new to you guys. Any questions about what we just talked about? If not, you can shake your head no, and then I know you don't have any questions. Okay, good. Okay. Remember, if you do have a question, just raise your hand. This page you guys should have William and Camila. You got that page? Okay. Oh, good. Okay. So does anybody feel like reading the sentences today? Any readers out there today? Okay, Kaden, thank you.
Robin whistled and thought about the contest, which would be entertaining. He wasn't worried about the other archers.
Nice, thank you. Entertaining is our vocabulary word, and you guys probably know what that means. It's like something fun or enjoyable to watch. Could be a football game, could be a play, or a magic show. I mean, anything really that brings enjoyment, basically. Check. And then the articles, you can find those by yourself. And then Harmony, we'll start with you. How about the nouns? Where are the nouns in these sentences?
Robin,
Good.
contest,
Yes, good.
archers.
Nice. Excellent. Good job. There is one pronoun, Camila. Do you see where that one's at?
He.
Good. He. Adjectives. Let's see, William, how about those words that give more information or tell whose or what kind or which one for the nouns?
Entertaining.
Entertaining is one. Good.
Worrying.
Worried is one. Good.
Utter.
And other. Very good. Got that right away. So entertaining is talking about the contest. Worried is talking about he. And then other is talking about which of the archers. It's the other archers. Okay, nice. We got a fanboys word, Kaden. Where's the fanboy word for coordinating conjunction?
And
Good. And Cece. All right. Let's kind of skip around now on this list. If you know what to do, you can go ahead. But how about Harmony? Where is that who, which clause?
Color, which would be entertaining.
Yes, there you go. Awesome. So we're going to put parentheses around it, W/W, which would be entertaining. And then let's jump down to subject verb pairs. So Camila, this time, tell us what the subject and the verbs are in each sentence. They go together.
Robin whistled.
Good. Robin, and he whistled, but he did something else too. What else did he do?
Thought.
Good. And then in the who, which clause, subject verb there?
Which would
Yep. And there's one more verb actually.
be.
Yes, very good. Those are going together. Those are linking verbs actually. And then what about the last sentence?
He wasn't.
He and wasn't. What the was part is the verb. Yep, and that's it. Good job. So there's two subjects, three subjects, and there's a bunch of verbs. Remember that means there's three of the subjects, but you could have more verbs, like in this case. All right, now we've got it narrowed down for you, Kaden. Where are the prepositional phrases?
about the contest
Good, that's one.
and about the other archers.
Nice, very good. So we know the word about is a preposition. And if you save that for last, if you always get stuck on that, you'll see it's the last word without a label on it. And then if you ask yourself what, like about what? About the contest. And then here we have about again. About what? About the other archers. So if you ask the question what, That will help you figure out the rest of the prepositional phrases. Two capitals, go ahead and do that. It's Robin. And he. All right, we have a comma rule. So we have to decide, are we putting in a comma or taking out? William, what do you think?
Taking out the comma before the end.
Yes. And do you know why?
Because there's only two subjects.
You're close. There's two verbs. It's connecting the two verbs, whistled and thought, but you're right. It's just two. The rule is if there's only two, we don't need a comma. If there's three or more commas, good. So we take that one out. End mark, just a period. Oh yeah, we're missing an apostrophe. Harmony, where does the apostrophe go?
Wasn't.
Good. Between the N and the T, right there. Excellent. Awesome job, you guys. Okay, any questions about homework for grammar? Is anybody having any issues with the grammar homework or questions? If not, you can just shake your head. If you do, just raise your hand. Okay. All right, everybody's shaking their head. That's good. You guys are professional grammarians. Professional. Okay. Let's get your binder, or not your binder, it's a book this year. Get out your books next for history. And you guys wrote a paragraph about the Spanish settlers. And I think I graded up pretty much everybody's that turned it in. I might have one that I didn't grade yet. But I do want to talk to you really quick because something new on your checklist is those vocabulary words. And I know that you don't have those cards, but I emailed your parents about those cards. Turn my light back on. Do you know if you have vocabulary cards? Did your parents print those? No? Okay. In your book, and it's not in mine because mine was printed a few years ago. So the newer books that you have a blue page on them, in them, I should say. Oh, just kidding. I have one. Let me show you in your book. As soon as I said that, I'm like, maybe I should check if mine does too. There's a blue page toward the front of your book. It looks like this. So yeah, I see that, Caden. Turn to the blue page. There's only one blue page. Go to it. It's at the beginning of your book. And it's talking about, it's talking about checklists, blah, blah, blah. I think, and maybe it doesn't mention it on mine because mine's older, but yours should say something on there about the vocabulary cards. And I know that Harmony's mom sent me the PDF and I couldn't forward it because everybody has their own code apparently. So print those vocabulary cards. This tells you how to print it on this page. So I do want you to have those handy. And when you use them in your checklist, in fact, let me see here. Let me pull up somebody's paper really quick so we can look at it together. I didn't get to grade everybody's, but Caden, hold on. Yeah, can I show your paper, Caden? Do you mind? Okay, thank you. Because Caden did it correctly. Good job, Caden. As far as the vocabulary. So do you see right here where he has VOC right before the word quest? That is a vocabulary word, quest, and that is how I want you to label it, to put VOC like right before the word. Here he has VOC right before the word futile. Futile. And that's how I want you guys to label that, okay? Right here, zealously, he's got VOC right before that. I think you accidentally forgot to underline your dress up though. I'll just do that for you really quick. because I do see the ly here. So you can use that. So only for vocabulary words, you can double dip. You know how sometimes when we do openers, we don't want you double dipping with openers, but you can for vocabulary and for dress ups. I'm okay with that. Any questions about what I'm looking for as far as the vocabulary words? Because you really have to have two vocabulary words. Kaden went the extra mile and has three, which I love. So it's not going to be a problem if you have more, but you have to have at least two, okay, of the vocabulary words in your paper. And then we'll look at the page at the very back when we get to it, but let's go ahead and turn to, oops, I got to get to my right notes here. Page 28. And by the way, you guys, the ones that are working on the MLA format, great job with that. If you have any questions, anybody have any questions about the MLA format? I sent you guys a video to watch, and then that kind of walked you through the steps on how to set that up. It seems like everybody's doing fine with that. It's something that's connected to this particular history book. So I do want you to use MLA. Kaden.
In that video, it said to like go to like footers or kickers or something like that. And then on mine, it didn't have that. So I just kind of, yeah.
It should have said like headers and footers, I
Or
think.
yeah,
Yeah, it did
mine
have
didn't have
headers.
that.
Oh, William, how about you?
I didn't have it either, but I double
Oh.
tapped on the top of the screen and then the header popped up.
Tapped on the top of the screen. Okay, maybe if you tap toward the edge, to the top edge, that's good to know. You write that down. Maybe Google will change their format with that. Headers and footers. Okay, I'll make a note. Thank you for telling me that. You know, sometimes, Google updates stuff and then they change stuff. So I made that video a couple of years ago. So, or maybe it was last year. Anyway. All right, we're moving on to this lesson, page 28. I do want you guys to use MLA format. And if you ever have any questions about it, just let me know. We're moving on to 1497. Last week we talked about the Spanish settlers. Actually, that was like 1513. So we're going backwards a little bit here in 1497. So does anybody feel like reading this paragraph on page 28? No? How about I read it? You guys follow along, okay? Beginning in 1497, this is Englishmen, by the way, they arrive. So we've had, sorry, let me pause for a second. So we had the Native Americans, and then the Spanish came, and now we have the Englishmen are coming in. England began sending explorers to America. However, many years passed before they attempted to establish colonies. One of the first attempts was by a group led by John White. You guys heard of John White? No? Okay, we're going to keep going. In 1587, they landed on Roanoke Island, near what is now North Carolina. White left over 100 settlers there. But when he returned in 1590, that was only 3 years later, the entire settlement was gone. This is one of those weird things that happen in history that nobody can explain. Because of its strange disappearance, this settlement is known as the Lost Colony. It was not until 1607 that a group of Englishmen were successful in beginning a permanent settlement. These men landed in Virginia and named their settlement Jamestown after King James. The settlers experienced many hardships, but over time, Jamestown became a prosperous city. And at the bottom down here, it does tell you a little note about John White. It says John White is used in the third sentence, but White is only used after that. It's mechanics, basically, how they refer to him. Names of adults are referred to by their first and last name the first time they are mentioned. And then after that, after the first time, They are only referenced by their last name. Okay, so John White, he was a captain of that ship that brought over the settlers to North Carolina. And it's weird. It's almost like the Bermuda Triangle, if you've ever heard about that story, where things have disappeared in that area and no one can explain why. And if you've heard of Amelia Earhart, another story where she disappeared, nobody knew where she went, what happened to her. So this is one of those weird stories in history where the whole village or their, where they settled was gone. Like no trace of them. You would think maybe they got attacked by somebody, but you might see like stuff at least, like parts of a hut or house or clothes or bones or remnants of something. There was nothing. So nobody really knows what happened to it. So it's a weird time in history. But then later they came 1607, and that's when they started bringing more people to settle, and they named it Jamestown after King James in England. Okay, this is when the English came over. We haven't talked about the Pilgrims yet. That's coming. So this is before that. All right. Any questions about that paragraph? I recommend you guys open your book flat. So you have the paragraph on one side and you have the handy dandy KWO that's already set up for you on this side. All right. Again, we're starting out kind of slow this year, getting going with our keyword outlines. So this is going to be sentence by sentence again, and you're going to focus on one paragraph this week again. So let's just take it sentence by sentence. You remember the rules. You can only have 3 words, numbers, symbols, abbreviations. Those are all free. So how about William, look at the very first sentence. And how can we put that in your outline? And by the way, everybody else can work ahead. So your goal is each one of these is going to be a sentence. So you can work ahead. Look at the sentence, look for those keywords. How can you remember that sentence? Just the main point of the sentence with the keywords. Make a list, and then we'll talk about it. But I'll start with William. You get lucky number 1. What do you think?
1497.
That's a freebie. So yeah, it's a good one to start with.
England.
Okay.
Sending explorers.
Sending explorers. Okay. Is that it? Or should we do something to tell us America?
No.
Okay. So you don't need that. If you want, you could put Amer abbreviation or like an arrow, maybe, if that helps you. If you don't need it, you don't have to put it. All right. Camila, what about the next one? And like I said, you guys can keep going. Go ahead of us. Here it says, however, many years passed before they attempted to establish colonies.
Many,
Okay.
and then YRS for years,
Okay.
and then an arrow for past.
Okay. So you got attempted and established and colonies, but that's too many words. That's probably what you're looking at. So What are the two most important words out of those three?
Establish colonies.
That's what I think too. So if we had many years and then past and then established colonies, I think that'll work. Good job. If you guys have something different than that, that's okay. All right, and then Caden, the next sentence, it starts with one of the first attempts.
Attempt led. Would John White be two words or one word?
You can count that as one because it's his name. Yeah.
Attempts led John White.
Okay. One. Did you do one ST, like first attempt?
Yeah.
Okay, first attempt. Led John White.
Yeah, led John White.
Okay, got it. Good. The next one, number 3, is for harmony. What did you get for that one? It starts with in 1587.
Tell us what you do. 50, 88, 87,
Okay.
landed. Roanoke. I abbreviate Roanoke Island.
Oh, you just put like
R.
RI. Got it. Okay.
Near North Carolina.
Okay.
Abbreviate North Carolina. NC.
Is that how you did it? 1587 landed RI near NC. Is that what you have?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I like it. Good job. Nice. And those are easy to abbreviate because we already know those abbreviations for those states. So good job. All right, William, back to you for 4.
Number 100 settlers.
Okay.
Return 1590.
Did you use the word left or just 100 settlers?
I just put 100 settlers.
Okay. I think we need left because he left them there. But what else did you have after that? Returned.
Return 1590. Settlement. Wait, how much words do I have?
You might have too many. That's a tough one, huh? Maybe JW for John White. And then I think we kind of need that word left.
And then number 100.
Number 100. I guess could we do people like settlers, but maybe we could draw little stick people.
And returned 1590.
Yeah, I like that. Returned 1590
And then gone.
and then gone. I like that with an exclamation point. That'll work. Okay, and then Camila, when you're ready, number 5.
Does lost colony count as one word or two words?
We can count that as one because it looks like that's what they're naming it. I'm okay counting that as one.
Disappearance, settlement, lost colony.
I wonder if we need known. How about settlement known lost colony?
Okay.
Can we?
Settlement known lost colony. Caden, number 6.
Um, 1607 group successful
Mm.
or 1607 group successful permanent.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we need Englishmen.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we could do uh,
Englishman successful.
Yeah, I know. That's a tough one, huh?
Or
Because we need
yeah.
settlement.
Or we don't have to put group because it was like Englishmen.
Ah, yeah, I like
Yeah.
it.
It's not man. Or yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good thinking.
And then permanent settlement.
Yes. Oh, or successful. We had that word too. Yeah, I think so. We'll remember
Or
that.
or if you want like successful perm settlement.
Okay, I like that. Successful, perm, settlement. Good. Good thinking. I like how you worked that out in your head. That was good. And then let's see, number 7, that's harmonies. That's the one about these men landed in Virginia. What do you think, Harmony? This one's for you, number 7.
Men landed Virginia. Virginia. VI.
Okay.
Settlement. Drew a triangle with a house in the middle.
Oh, the house is a symbol for settlement?
Like the picture.
Oh, okay. For the word settlement. Is that what that's for?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I get that. Okay, we'll do a little triangle like that, kind of like how it's set up in the picture.
Jamestown.
Jamestown.
Equals King James. I favor King James with a K and a J.
Got it. Okay, good. Men landed VI for Virginia settlement. Jamestown equals KJ. That's smart. Very good. I like it. And then the last one, go ahead, William, and you get the last sentence.
Few stickmans experienced.
If you are sleeping in a
Oops,
position like
sorry.
this, you are wrecking your body and
I was looking for a video on John White, but sorry, say that one more time.
Stick figures experienced hardships. Jamestown.
Well, it became a prosperous city. Maybe how could we do like over time? Maybe we do like a little arrow, like over time, it became prosperous. I think prosperous, we need that one. That just means like it grew and it was like thriving, like people were living there and they had businesses and, food and all that. So, but that's good. I like that, William. Over time. So the people experienced hardships, but over time they became a prosperous city. Awesome. And everybody's could be different. It doesn't have to be exactly like that one. You did a great job with that. So let's go on to our, okay, it looks like maybe somebody, are you still working on it, Camila? Are you good? Okay. All right, let's go on to page 30. And by the way, you still just have one dress up word, which is nice. They're kind of going easy on the dress up words this time too. So your dress up is going to be an ly adverb again. So let's brainstorm. This is kind of a nice page because you can kind of think about what ly words you could use in your story, in your paragraph ahead of time and have them ready to go. So these words are going to be adverbs. So they're going to tell how something is happening, right? So be thinking. I'm going to call on you guys. Just raise your hand if you have an idea. What's a good ly word for number one? The settlement at Roanoke had blank disappeared. Somethingly disappeared. Caden, what do you think?
Strangely.
Good. Strangely is a good one. I'm going to make a list right here, and then you guys can add to that. Strangely. What else is a good ly word? William?
Mysteriously.
Yes, good one. I like that too. Mysteriously. We'll do one more. Anybody else have a good one? Another one, William? Did you forget? Oh, anybody else have one?
Oddly.
Good one. Oddly, yes. All right, so you can use either any of those words in that sentence when you get to that sentence that talks about that part where how it disappeared. And then here's number two, the men who reached Jamestown blank established a permanent settlement. Somethingly established a permanent settlement. Caden.
Finally.
Oh, good. I like it. Because it did take a while. So yeah, it's like finally they established it. Camila?
Successfully.
Oh, I like that one too. Successfully. One more, just to have some choices here. How about eventually? Those are good ly words, all of them. Next sentence, number three, the Englishmen blank named their settlement after their king. They named their settlement after the king. Caden.
Proudly.
Proudly, is that what you said? Yeah, that's a good one. Respectfully, maybe? Kindly, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Kindly. Yeah, that was a kind thing for them to do. All right, so we do have some new vocabulary words. We talked about that, those cards. I'm hoping you guys can find those because I really like how they have pictures with them. But if you go to page 322 in your book, you'll see the list of vocabulary words for this lesson. This is lesson 3. So let me show you that list back there on page 322. But I'm also going to show you my vocabulary cards. But lesson 3 is the one that we're on. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4 words here. These words we're going to talk about. So you stay on page 322. I'm going to go to my page that has the cards. So you can see that. So we've got on your list audaciously. And here's a picture. That's why I want you guys to be able to print these cards because they're kind of cool. They have a little graphic on here so you can see a visual of what the word means. But here's a guy, he's thinking about the town or the settlement, right? And he's visualizing, it's like a thinking cloud here. He's visualizing that. So who can tell me on page 322, what does audaciously mean? Who can tell me the definition on page 322? See where it says lesson 3? Okay, go ahead, Kaden.
Boldly or daringly.
Good. Yes. So this is an ly adverb. This is how they made the settlement. So they audaciously uh, sent out to establish a settlement. They were audaciously doing that because they were bold and they were daring. It's like they had courage, right, to go and do this. It's like a new land. They've never been there before, but they wanted to make a settlement there, a place for people to live. So that audaciously just means like courageously or boldly, something like that. So you can use that as your dress up and a vocabulary word. Remember, if you use it in your sentence, you're going to put VOC behind it. So it'll say VOC in parentheses and then audaciously. All right, how about inevitably? Here's a picture. And she doesn't look very happy. They look sad. It looks like they don't have very much food on the plate, inevitably. So who can read the definition of inevitably on page 322? How about Camila? Can you tell us what inevitably means? Oh, you don't have your book. Sorry. Just kidding. How about the word is of unavoidably. It means it's probably going to happen. So sadly, these people ran out of money and ran out of food because there wasn't really an establishment yet, right? They inevitably ran out of food. And maybe that's part of what happened to their disappearance. They just didn't have enough to establish a way of life at that time. So inevitably, they're sad because they don't have any food here. Okay, so how about endeavor? I think Caden and Harmony are the only ones that actually have the book. So I'm going to have either one of you. How about Harmony? What is endeavor? What does it say there for that?
Afford an effort or attempt to make a major effort or attempt.
Good. Okay, so endeavor is one of those words in English that can either be a noun or a verb. It depends on how it's used in the sentence. So an endeavor is an attempt, right? But if you are endeavoring to do something, it's making that attempt. And you can see these guys here carrying this lumber and they're trying to build a house or a building of some kind for the settlement. So endeavor. Okay, that's an attempt to do something. Okay, and then eerily, Caden, what does eerily mean?
And uncomfortably strange in a fearful way.
Good, eerily. So if something's eerie, that means it's like spooky. and it's like, ooh, that's kind of scary and spooky and strange, something like that. Um, and you can see he's got a kind of a worried look on his face, and maybe he's hearing something. I don't know what those lines are. He might be hearing something, or maybe he's looking for the settlement and he's like, where did they go? That could be John White, actually, looking at the place where he left people, and he's like, where is everybody? It's gone. Everything's gone. Eerily. This is another adverb. You could use this as your adverb, ly. All right. Now go back to where we were in lesson 3, and we're going to plug in the vocabulary words that you think fit in those sentences. Let me go back in my book here. All right, here we go. So number 1, blank, the Englishman ventured to America too. What do you think? What one of those vocabulary words that we just talked about? You can flip back if you need to look at that page. But what word fits in number 1 as far as the vocabulary word? Anybody know?
Audaciously.
Audaciously, yep. That's when they're courageous. They audaciously, the English ventured to America too. I like it. Audaciously. Ciously. It's a big one. Audaciously. It means courageously, boldly. How about number 2? Though the settlers at Roanoke blank, and it's going to be a verb because it has ed here, to establish a permanent settlement, they unexplainably failed. So this actually might not be a word from our list today because I don't think we had a word that would fit here today. This might be from last week. Oh, no, it is on there. It is on there. Caden?
Endeavor.
Yeah, I thought it was last week. Sorry. But you're right. Endeavored. And we're going to put an ED on there. Though the settlers at Roanoke endeavored to establish a permanent settlement, they unexplainably failed. All right. We got a couple minutes. Remember that derivatives of a vocabulary word may be used. So that means if instead of the word endeavored, you could use endeavor. Or instead of in audaciously, you could use audacious. So any part of the word you can use as the vocabulary word. At the end of the source text, did you notice a derivative of the word prosperity? What is it? So looking back on the paragraph that we read, a derivative means a part of the word or another form of the word. So at the end of the paragraph, what word do you see that could come from prosperity? On page 28 at the last sentence. Do you guys see it, Caden?
Prosper.
It's actually prosperous. Prosperous. And that just means thriving. If you're prosperous, you've got money, you've got food, you've got shelter, you've got all the things you need to live, and it's prospering. Okay, there's things happening that are good. Good. Look at the vocabulary chart. Oh, we already did that. Okay, we're gonna skip that part. Let's check the checklist really quick. Look at the checklist here. Page 31. Erase this really quick. MLA format again. So just set that up again like you did last time. You'll get used to setting that up every time. MLA. Title, give this a new title. Dress up is only ly adverb. We're still sticking to one paragraph right now. And the rest you know. And then we've got the vocabulary word here. So I want you to put a note on here. Use 2 vocabulary words. Now you can use more than that, but you must use 2 at least. Yes, Caden.
I have to go because I have a class right at 10.
Okay, I'll see you next week, Kaden.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Okay,
Have a
you're
good
welcome.
week.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye. So everything else is pretty much the same on here. So you're going to use your keyword outline that we made in class, write one paragraph, include an ly adverb, and include 2 vocabulary words. Like if you use the word endeavor, you would do VOC right before it, and then the word endeavor. Okay, that's how I want you to mark it with parentheses like that. Do you guys have any questions about the homework or anything we talked about today? You guys are good? Okay, I was looking for a video to show you about a little more information about John White, but we are out of time, so I'm gonna put a link in the homework and you can watch a little video about John White to learn a little bit about who he was and what happened during that time. Other than that, you guys are good to go. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye. Bye, Harmony. Bye, Camila.
Bye, Mrs. Sarah.
See you next week. Bye, Camila.